Joined by Don Montgomery, the head football coach at Emory Henry College. They were picked in a tie for 5th in this year's ODAC Preseason Poll. Coach, we're going to jump right into your offense here. You have a quarterback that led the league both in completions and in passes thrown. And you also have your running back who was back from last year. He was a second-teamer in Joe Vaughn. Talk a little bit about those two gentlemen and what you expect their roles to be and how they continue to progress in your offense.
Well, Kyle is an outstanding leader, student of the game, very strong thrower. I think that he is the type of quarterback you need if you're going to throw the ball in that spread offense. We're going to vary his role a little bit by trying to move the pocket. I think that'll help him out quite a bit and get away from some of the pressure that he's under. I think he can do that because Kyle is not one of those young men that you want to bank on running the football, but he can run. And Joe Vaughn is a horse. I'd like to see him carry the ball a lot more this year, and I think that both those guys are great leaders. Joe's extremely a tough young man. I think he's one of the better backs that I've seen at Emory and Henry. So I think there's a lot on his shoulders right now. And Casey Jones is back as well. I think they're a good 1-2 punch. Having them both in the backfield at the same time could prove to be very beneficial for us.
You mentioned Kyle was a student of the game. He's also was last year the ODAC Farm Bureau Insurance Scholar Athlete of the Year. What does it mean to you for your program that you not only have players that get it done on the field but are also outstanding students? Well,
we recruit to a plan. And the plan is that I want our guys to graduate. And Kyle is the epitome of that. He does a lot of things for the school, a lot more things for the school than just play football. And he'll be going into med school after this year. He's nominated for the Rhodes Scholarship. It means a lot to our football program because he's a great role model for us.
Back onto the field and staying with your offense right now, you got a stable of receivers coming back right now. What do you expect out of that group that includes players like Chad Williams?
Well, more consistency and more blocking in the perimeter. If Chad was our leading receiver last year with 62 catches over 10 games, so that means he catches 6 balls a game, but he's probably on the field for 50 other plays. So, all of those guys, we need them to block a little bit more in the perimeter, and I think that'll make things go a little bit more. But I do respect, Lucas Kirby, Chad Williams, Adam Pugh, Cleo Cooper, all those guys coming back. I think they'll be very, very solid for us.
On the defensive side of the ball, you've got 3 all-conference players back, a pair of second-teamers in Scott Hill and DeMichael Burris, and then also a third-teamer in Paul Forney. How do you expect those 3 gentlemen to help lead your defense this year? And what are some of the new names we could hear come out of Emory and Henry this year?
Well, I think you'll hear Victor Monteblano a lot, who was a freshman last year, and he did a lot of good things for us. And he played for Brookville and was a state champ wrestler at 220 pounds, and I think you'll hear his name a lot. I think you'll hear Roth Healy's name a lot. We moved him to safety last year. He had a great year playing special teams. We lose both of our safeties, and Roth and Jason Hill will be the 2 safeties back there, along with Robbie Gaines. And for the first time, I don't think that on either side of the ball, we're not going to have to depend on a freshman coming in. And for the first time that I've been here, it's our largest senior class. We don't have any new linebackers. Other than the strong side outside linebacker where Ross Ellis graduated from, we do have some guys that are fighting for that position, but most of our linebackers return. I think that we're going to move Paul Forney inside, and we'll have 2 outside linebackers that were ex-safeties that I think give us a lot more speed. All 3 defensive, or 4 of the defensive linemen are back from last year. Both of our corners are back, with Anthony Jones coming back as well off that knee injury. So I think that we're going to be okay. I look for us to play a little bit more aggressively, and you're right. I think our defense was just on the field too much last year. And we're not on the field, and the offense is not on the field as long as because of the nature of the way that we play. So we're going to try to temper that a little bit.
the conference, looking at this right now, there's a couple of unique offenses in the league, being with Washington Lee being a very run-heavy offense, and you have Hampton-Sydney, which has historically been a very pass-heavy offense. You have them back-to-back this year. You have W&L in Week 6 and then Hampton-Sydney in Week 7. Talk about the coaching aspect of that, going from one extreme of an offense to possibly another extreme of an offense in back-to-back weeks.
Well, first of all, W&L's very difficult to defend because they give you so many unbalanced formations, and they use a lot of motion, and of course they have the ability to run the triple option, and nobody else in our league does that. So, you know, when I was a defensive coordinator at Mount Union, that was like defending Augustana. They were very, very similar to Augustana, where they're power one way, option the other way. And, you know, I mean, the week before, you know, you're playing Randolph-Macon, and, you know, they're a different brand as well. And it is very difficult to change gears. The most important thing is that whenever you're defending W&L is to get a good look from your scout team. And that's very hard if you don't run any option plays yourself. I think that then moving into Hampton-Sydney, you know, that creates a different problem because, you know, they'll also give you some unbalanced formations, but they're going to throw the football a little bit more. Although they can run it if they want to, you just don't know what type of offense you're going to see. Both those coaches, Coach Abel and Marty, you know, they do great jobs with their team. So, you know, you could prepare for one thing for Hampton-Sydney and get something totally different. Like they played Bridgewater in you know, two tight ends a lot last year, and that's the first time I'd ever seen that. So you have a little bit of a problem in dealing with the speed at which W&L, and then really trying to focus in on what Hampton-Sydney's going to give you. So I think that this is a very, very good football league. I don't think it makes any difference where anybody's picked at any given time. I love coaching in this league, and the challenges that come upon you week by week are challenges. You know, I mean, it's kind of like playing in the playoffs. You know, one week you're gonna play against a team that can just run the football down your throat, and then the next week you're gonna throw. Like we played Wittenberg one time, and then we played Widener the next week, and Widener was averaging like 60 points a game, no huddle offense, and Wittenberg, of course, is going to run the ball down your throat. So it's kind of like that. You know, whenever you have those two different types of teams, you have to have the ability to change gears, and I think continuity on your coaching staff is a real plus at that point.
Well, Coach, I thank you for joining us today, and good luck this year.
Thank you very much.